Welcome to the Growing in Love for Life podcast, where it's all about saving and strengthening your marriage and creating the relationship you really deserve and want to have. And now, from growinginloveforlife.com, relationship and marriage coach and best-selling author, your host, Liam Naden.
This is episode 43 of the Growing in Love for Life podcast. Hi everyone, it's Liam Naden here again, and today I want to talk about something that is an extremely simple concept, but which most people have almost completely forgotten about, it seems, and that is gratitude. You know, simply being grateful for what we have is an attitude that seems to have been pretty well lost in our modern world. Most people are so bound up in wanting more and in focusing on what they see as lacking in their life that they never really stop to take a breath and realize what they already do have. And by simply changing your awareness and focus from what is wrong with your situation and your marriage to what is right about it, that alone is going to have a profound effect, not only on yourself, but on your marriage as well. And in fact, if you take just this one concept that I'm talking about here and apply it to your marriage in the way that I'm going to suggest, then the differences it will make to your relationship with your spouse may well astound you. Now, if you think about it, what we all do have in our lives these days is absolutely incredible compared to it literally any other time in human history. I mean, the wealthiest people on the planet 100 years ago, or even 50 years ago, could not have bought the things and experiences that we can today that we have with relative ease. You know, think of what we all literally take for granted that not so long ago was regarded as sheer fantasy. Things like mobile phones, instant videos and photographs, air travel to anywhere on Earth for a relatively low cost, the health services we have today, and even the opportunity to start and end a marriage for love reasons rather than financial security or wanting to have children. The list really goes on and on. And when it comes to marriage, one of the things about a great marriage is that both the husband and the wife have a profound sense of gratitude. They're grateful for what they have in their life, and they're also particularly grateful that they have each other. And they say things to each other like, "How did I get so lucky to find you?" And they mean it. Now you might be thinking, well, it's easy for them. I mean, if they have a great marriage, then they probably have a lot to be grateful for. But I'm in an unhappy marriage situation. How can I just pretend that things are good when they're really not? Well, the truth is that whatever you focus on is going to grow. And no matter where you are in your marriage, you do have things to be grateful about. And if you spend some time really thinking about those things, rather than all the things that you're not happy about, then you're going to find some positive changes will begin to happen as a result. Now, when we're thinking about the level of gratitude that you might have in your own marriage, here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Firstly, when was the last time you told your husband or wife that you really appreciated having them in your life? It might have been maybe with a card, a text message, or saying it to them personally. But when did you last genuinely and with feeling say to them, "I'm really glad that I have you in my life"? Interesting question, isn't it? Alright, the second question is, when was the last time you did something for your husband or your wife that showed them that you really appreciate them? You know, nothing big, but maybe just a simple gesture or an act that you did out of pure love and kindness with no expectations of getting anything back. And it could have been as simple as maybe opening the door for them or making them a cup of tea or coffee. But it was something that you just had this sudden and spontaneous urge to do something for them simply because you felt good about them and you love them. So that's another question to think about. When was the last time you did something for them that showed them you really appreciate them? And the third question, and I hope you're not struggling to come up with the answers here, but the third question is, When was the last time you truly felt glad to have your spouse in your life? When was the last time you felt a moment of joy where you just thought, wow, I'm so lucky to have this amazing person in my life. To think that they've chosen me to be with them. My life really is great for having them in it. When was the last time you thought that or felt that? Now, if the answer to any of these questions is not for a while or even never, then I'm willing to bet that your marriage is far from being the great one that you would like it to be. So doing what these questions suggest would be a good place to start in improving your relationship. The fact is that you do have a lot to be grateful for in your marriage and in your life, if you choose to see it. If things aren't going too well, or at least maybe not as well as you would hope them to be, then you need to start focusing on the good things rather than the bad things. Because when problems arise in a relationship, most people spend all of their time trying to fix the problems, thinking, well, if I can just stop this from happening, then we'll be happy again and everything will be fine. But the reality is, though, that when you focus on what is wrong with your marriage, you keep finding more things wrong. And I'm sure you'll have experienced trying to sort out your problems and finding that it's a lot more complicated than you thought it would be, and you just end up spending a lot more time and effort and make very little progress, if any. So when you focus instead on what is good about your marriage and your life, interesting things start to happen. You have a more positive attitude, and that alone is going to make your spouse far more willing to engage with you and deal with any issues the two of you might have. But equally importantly, you're going to see more good things in your marriage, things that you can truly be grateful for, than you thought were actually there. And things will not only look better, but they're going to get better as well. Looking for the good in your spouse and your marriage is going to make a huge difference. And my challenge to you is that no matter how bad you think things are in your marriage, look for some things to be grateful for. And I assure you, no matter what you might think, there are good things there. And after all, you're probably better off than anyone on the planet was 100 years ago, and probably better off than 90% of the people on the planet are today. So dig deep, see what's good about you and your life right now, and say or do something to express some gratitude for your spouse and your marriage, and you might be surprised at the positive result. Gratitude is such an important element of a successful marriage, and I actually include a whole section on it in my 30-day Save Your Marriage Relationship Transformation program. So if you'd like to learn more about how to use the power of gratitude to really improve your marriage, then take a look at that program. And you'll find all the details on my website, liamnaden.com. Well, that's all we've got time for this week. Thank you for listening. Go out and be grateful, because remember, there's only one sort of marriage worth having, and that's a great one.